Good morning, Infinity. I am excited to welcome y'all back into the most exciting spiritual community in the planet. My name is Jeff Obafemi-Carr here at Infinity. I go by Rev Jeff, and I am excited to be in the place with you today into the core of consciousness and the apex of authenticity. We are grateful that you decided to join us today. We are grateful that we are sending you this energy into the space live from the Infinity Center in Nashville, Tennessee. We know that we are sending the signal out throughout the entire world, so we welcome you in from wherever you're streaming from. On behalf of today's awesome crew, Sister Kanitha Carr on vocals and announcements and infinitude and everything we got going there, Brother Joshua Smith Carr on cameras and audio, and running our live stream, Sister Alicia Hamer, making sure that we are interacting with you and making sure that this thing is smooth as always. And on our multimedia and cameras, we have Brother Tony Insignatis. We are here with you today. And so we welcome you into this space. We invite you. Go get your family. Go get your friends. Text someone you love. Text someone you're working to love more of. Let them know that today's space is about change. It's about growing up. It's about embracing who you are. So in a few minutes, we're going to say hello to you. We're going to say good morning to you. We're going to sing good morning to you. We're going to find out where you're streaming from. We're going to find out something that you're grateful for. So in this moment, as we prepare for that moment of gratitude, we ask that you just sit still for a moment. Find that centering space. And then just breathe. Come on, give me a deep breath. Exhale and fog up that mirror. Good. Give me another good deep breath like that. Fog the mirror, and in this moment, relax your shoulders, your neck, release all tension in your body. As we prepare ourselves in the sacred space today, breathe deeply in and out through your nose. And I want you to really feel the breath. Be mindful of the breath. If you're gathered with your family, if you're gathered with your children, if you're gathered with your friends, this is a great moment to tell everyone to be still, to inhale deeply, and to feel that energy go down into your throat, expanding into your chest, traveling below your upper body into your lower body, filling you with love, holding that love for just a beat, and then exhaling the release of gratitude, letting go of the things you no longer need. If you'd like, you can allow your eyes to gently close or just fix your gaze slightly ahead of your nose and downward. Continue to breathe with me like this. Releasing all tension into the stillness. Focusing the energy on the breath. As distractions come, releasing the need to judge and to analyze by simply turning your attention into the intentional breathing right now. And as we are breathing together in this moment of magnetism, in this moment of spirit, in this moment known as prana, known as ashe, known as breath, we give thanks for the love vibration today. We give thanks for the healing vibration today. We give thanks for community in this moment. As we are now tuned in and enlightened by and uplifted with the breath, we invite all eyes to be closed, all heads to be bowed, and all hearts to now be open. As we speak to Divine Source together in affirmative prayer. God, you are our mother. God, you are our Father. God, you are the source of all creation. We acknowledge in this moment together, globally, that you are indeed the loving, living spirit of our commonality, that you are the divine source of all creation. We acknowledge that you are perceived by many different names in many different cultures in many different places, and yet we all know you by one divine energy. It is that energy that we welcome into this space today. That as I speak it here in headquarters, we send it out all across the globe. All of us on one accord right now. All of us in one vibration. And that vibration today is gratitude. We thank you for being present in the body today. We thank you for being able to breathe today. As we are breathing, we are in sync with the universe. Thank you for the ability to let go of the things that don't serve us and to embrace the good that you provide. Thank you for seeing us through the obstacles. Thank you for seeing us through this week. Thank you for the struggles that many had this week that did not defeat them and made them stronger. Thank you for those who have been struggling today with doubting their own creative gifts. Let them know that you put those dreams into their spirit for a reason. And that reason is to manifest it. If they don't manifest it, nobody else will. So thank you for the gift of being unique and special. Thank you for being different parts of the spider web that when united can subdue the lion. We give thanks for the families represented here, for the young people. We give thanks for the elders whose feet we sit at and gain wisdom from. We speak a special blessing over today's service, that something may be said or shared or sung or typed that will remind somebody that they are always loved, covered, and empowered by you. We speak this from the depths of our spirit. We speak calm and blessings over our Stewart family here as they move through the healing process. We speak that you will wrap your arms around them, comfort them in the low spaces, send community members when they are in need to be representatives of you on this earth. That's what we are. We are the fingers in the hand of God. Give us the power to continue to love. And to those who send in requests for love and covering, we speak that healing, power, love, and joy. And for these things and others that we cannot put into words, we simply say we are grateful. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Hotep, Shalom, Namaste, Ashe. Deep breath in. Exhale to release. Feel that spirit flowing. That's the invocation, the evocation of that energy that is always present. And now it's time for us to pour our libations, and we invite you into this process now. As we greet you in the name of the known and unknown ancestors, upon whose shoulders we confidently and yet humbly stand, we recognize that as we are made in the image and likeness of all that was, is, and ever shall be, we carry the awesome responsibility to infect, effect, and affect the change we want to see in the world. It's on you. It's on me. It's on us. But oh, ain't it great that we had people who came before us who set the example. They want us to reflect backwards so that we can continue to move forward while standing in the presence. The ancients called that concept Sankofa. That's the power to continue to fetch, to move forward. And so in this moment, we invite your people into this space. Do you have someone that you remember that poured into your life and your heart? Do you have someone that taught you a vital lesson while they were living in the body? And now that they have transitioned to life after life, you want to recognize them. I invite you to type their names into the box. And in a moment when we go to our altar, we will pour water out that represents the living into the earth that represents where we come from in a physical sense, where this vessel will go when we no longer need it, to support life after life on this planet as our spirit transcends and goes into the space where we are no longer limited by the fetters of this body. Ain't it awesome that there's no such thing as death, that it's simply a doorway? Isn't it awesome that when you just remember where you came from, that you remember those who came before you, that you are acknowledging that you are here for a purpose? That when your family, whether they came from Africa or Asia or Europe, that when they were struggling, when they didn't have your iPad, when they didn't have your laptop, when they were going through hard times, they had a dream inside their mind's eye, and that dream for the future was you. So isn't it awesome that you're here to fulfill your lineage? So as those names come up into your consciousness, we want you to either type them into the box or speak them aloud when we pour the water. We pour a special libation today for Dr. Frederick S. Humphreys, former president of Tennessee State University and FAMU, a national figure who we've poured libations for before. But in this moment, we're pouring the energy. His memorial service is today at Tennessee State. They memorialized him with the body last week in Florida A&M in Tallahassee. And now the energy is coalescing in this space. So we speak to the energy of Dr. Humphreys, Ashe. We speak to the energies of Sister Donna George. Sister Donna George, you may not be familiar with Sister Donna George as I am, but a very classy lady. Model, a mom, an entrepreneur, a visionary, survivor of transplants. But she put some good things into this world, and one of the things that she did was mother a good friend of mine named Eddie George. So we send energy to the George family and to Sister Donna George, who transitioned into life after life on July 4th. So as we've gotten this word here, we want you to know, to the George family, to Eddie, to Taj, Katrina, all of y'all, we love you. We're here. Eric, Zaire, we're here in this space with you. And just know that Sister Donna is in the other space as she has one foot with us now to make us stronger. Sister Donna George, Ashe. And finally, we pour to the energy of our brother in culture and in love. There was nobody who could beat him. He had what we needed. Brother Marcel Theo Hall, Ashe. You and I know him best as Brother Biz Marquis. Nobody beats the biz. You got what I need, but you say he's just a friend. How many of us? Brothers, I don't know how many of us have said that. You know, you say he's just a friend. That's that. You young people, go get that song. I know you have, because my kids sing that song. I'm Generation X, which gets confused with the baby boomers. We created hip hop, and so I learned it. And then Biz had a whole other career when he worked with Yo Gabba Gabba. And so my kids in Yo Gabba Gabba, they picked up You Got What I Need and the phenomenal energy. So to Brother Biz Marquis, Brother Marcel Theo Hall, Ashe. Let us pour at the altar and bring all of our people into this space today. Ashe. As we recognize and see the names coming in the box, as we also hear the names in the ether, calling your names aloud, we say, cool water, freshen our spirits. Freshen and consecrate this house today. Freshen our collective ancestors. We praise Almighty Mother, Father God, divine source and creation. Grant to us peace and prosperity. Ashe. So we pour today to the energies of the north, Ashe, to the energies of the south, Ashe, to the divine energies in the east, Ashe, to the divine energies of the west, Ashe, to the ground below upon which we stand, recognizing that we stand on the shoulders of giants, Ashe, to the heavens above that give us our dreams and our visions for purpose, Ashe, and to the space of the heart center, the space where it all comes together, the most divine crossroads where we hold the secrets, the joys, the dreams, the desires, and we put them into the world. Ashe. Call the names aloud as we pour these next few pours as well. And to the children in the womb, the children in the world and yet unborn, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-o. And so it is. Ashe. Good morning to you. We are here in the spot today. Sister Kanitha, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How you doing over there?
I'm doing well.
Yeah? You're looking great.
Thank you.
Got your hair is nice.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Snatched and bouncy. That's what they say, snatched and bouncy. Bouncy and snatched.
Yeah.
We're going to sing good morning to you in a minute.
Yes.
All right, good. We want to welcome you into the moment of gratitude. This is where we generate gratitude, y'all. Y'all know how we do it.
Woo.
So I am saying good morning to everybody. I see names popping in on the chat box. It's pretty doggone awesome. We're going to bring you up and just scroll some of your gratitude moments on the screen while we're singing this song. But good morning. Tell us good morning. Say hey to us in the box. If you're new, say hey to us. We're going to welcome you in a minute. But guess what? We want to know where you're streaming from. And we also want to know one thing that you're grateful for. So watch what happens when you do this. When you say, you know what? I'm Rev Jeff. I'm streaming from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm grateful today that I got the greatest tech crew in the world. That one thing. It's just like, So, share with yours. Good morning to you. I say hello to everybody from the ancestors that are coming into the space. I see the song is really simple. A good number of people. Sister Toya, I see you in the house. Sister Michelle, as always. Good to see you, Sister Stephanie. We've been looking for you. Glad we found you. Glad you're out there doing great things. Winnie, good to see you, sister. Awesome. We're going to sing a verse of the song, then we're coming back to get some of your good mornings.
Good morning to you. A good morning to you. Good morning to you. And we say da 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 da. Good morning to you. Y'all out there? Good morning to you. I hear you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Okay, let's get some of these great good mornings in the house. Oh my goodness. Sister Michelle Mayberry is coming in from Dallas, Texas. Grateful for awesome, loving friends. Good morning, Osceola Ward. We see you in the house. Streaming from San Francisco. Come on, California. Feel so grateful for being able to honor sadness and other feelings. Absolutely. Being that we're going to work through all that today. We're glad to have you in the space. Terrell, good morning to the Lindsay family from Arizona. Mesa is in the house again. Good to have y'all in the spot. We got Sister Felina streaming from Milwaukee. Grateful for my children and extended family. Sister Denise streaming in saying good morning from Nashville, Tennessee. We got, let me see, I'm trying to get back to everybody. I think the right column will take me back, Sister Alicia. Yeah, maybe I can go because I missed a couple. Oh, good morning. From L.A., Sister Dr. Michaela Bethune is in the spot today. Awesome. Grateful for love, family, health, shelter, community, and light. Come on now. As I say in the church, that's a word. That's a word right there, Dr. Michaela. Good to see Sister Winnie in town, in the spot today from Rwanda. Sister Winnie says that Grand Rising, we are in lockdown in Rwanda. Woke up grateful in a country that cares about its people. That's all right. So they're locking it down to keep this thing from spreading. So we're sending you all love and healing to our families over in Rwanda. Sister Winnie said everybody there that we're sending that love vibration to you, even as we're sending it to ourselves. Because we're in the great state of Tennessee, where our governor is living in Texas, in his mind, at the border. And I have no shame in saying that he's paying absolutely no attention or intention. He's paying no attention to what's going on in Tennessee with the Delta variant, but he is paying intention on whatever higher office he thinks he is pursuing. But just know, y'all, do your best. Be a part of this healing. Get yourself that vaccination. I did, and I don't even get flu shots. So I'm telling you, help protect ourselves, because we're living in a space where 70% of new cases are coming out of the Delta variant. We want to protect ourselves. Okay, there's my little mini speech there. Tanita's in the house. Grand Rising from Durham, North Carolina. Grateful for missing the layoffs at work. Well,
all right.
Tanita said, hey, the layoffs were coming, and the layoffs missed me with that. Just like it.
That'll make you shout.
Miss me with that layoff. Miss me with that layoff. That's all right. Sister Angela Tree. Sister Angela is in the house. Cousin Angela, grateful for my dad, a minister, and grateful to travel today to hear him speak. All right. Tell him we love him. Tell him to stand on the wall. Tell him we're speaking that something that is said in his words will change and transform someone's life and uplift him. As we know, he's one of our elders. We got Sister Leanne in the house. Awesome. Warm and sunny greetings from Belgium. We Infinity International today. We're on fleek. Grateful to be with Infinity, and we're grateful to be with you. Always
Yes.
grateful to see your face pop up and to know when we got our international folks. We've already done LA, San Francisco to North Carolina to Wisconsin.
Yep.
And then we jumped over that massive ocean.
Yep.
And we got now to Belgium, and now we got Rwanda.
Yes.
So we're covering this thing. Whoever's on the continent, whoever's in Asia, let us know so we can know we got it globally. And we're looking for Alaska and a North and South Pole, too. We're going to get that in there.
How about that?
Okay, good morning to everybody. I think I've gotten most everybody in that space. So, what an awesome time. What an awesome moment. So, speaking of international, speaking of reach, speaking of energy, we are excited today to have a special musical guest. You've heard her here before. She's a part of Infinity. We love her. She has always put good into the world. This sister has always walked in her purpose, manifested her dreams, and she has created this amazing song that is it's a hint for today. It's what you got to do for today because it's If Speaks. So we're going to have a very powerful conversation. This is the time to text your friends and tell them to get ready for If Speaks. It's going to be awesome today. But I want to bring in live from the ATL, that's Atlanta for y'all people who ain't from the Dirty South. From the ATL, songstress, writer, academic, recently received her master's from Savannah College of Art and Design. She's a bad sister. She's rocking and rolling. Y'all give her some snaps, some hand claps, show her some love, talk to each other in the box. She can read it when she gets through jamming. From Atlanta, Georgia, Sister Akua Taylor. Y'all give it up.
Hey, Rev Jeff.
Hey, what's happening?
What's happening?
Good to have you.
Yes, so good to be here. Thank you for having me. Infinity Fellowship, how y'all doing? Oh, lots of love. Okay. So this song is called Write It Down. Write It Down. All right. So without further ado, let's get it. Oh, yeah. I have visions, I have dreams of all my wants and needs. When will I get the real thing? I'm so tired of worrying about how it's gonna work out, living my life heading down. So I pick up a pen and then it all becomes much clearer when I write it down and I make it plain. There's no way that I won't see the day when it comes to be reality. My vision will come around when I write it down. It's so close, I can almost taste it. Keeping it in view so I can chase it. Working constantly to get closer to it. Hey, remaining faithful to it. I'm so tired of worrying about how it's gonna work out, living my life in doubt. So I pick up a pen and then it all becomes much clearer when I write it down and I make it plain. There's no way that I won't see the day when it comes to be reality. My vision will come around when I write it down. I will not tarry, no. I will be patient reached a place where I long to be. What's for me will be for me. I write it down. I write it down. Yeah. And I make it plain, and I make it plain when I write it down, and I make it plain. There's no way that I won't see the day when it comes to be reality. My vision will come around when I write it down. I've got to write it down. And when I write it down, it's gonna come around. I've got to write it down. Yeah.
Yes!
Love y'all.
Yes! Come on. Love you, Akua. Love you. Love you so much. See, that's how we do it. That's exactly how we do it. With fist, that's a fistgite. That's how we handle things. That's exactly how we handle things up in this mug. Awesome, Akua. We love you so much. Write it down, y'all. Didn't that speak? Well, good morning, Infinity. Welcome to the Infinity Experience live online. And guess what? You know, I like to remind you of a couple of things. One, we don't tell you what to call or how to define the God of your own personal acceptance and understanding. That is an intensely personal and beautiful relationship. Here at Infinity, we simply affirm your unique connection. Number two, whatever you call that source energy, you'll hear us say God interchangeably with the universe, divine source. What you see around you is the proof, baby, that it was showing off when you were created after the same image and likeness. And so now it's time to speak aloud the core agreements that bring us together at infinity. We call that infinitude. Infinitude is defined in the dictionary as a state or quality of being infinite or having no limit. We have a unique mix of faith backgrounds at Infinity, but what centers us is the spirituality we all share in common. For us, infinitude is defined as infinity with an attitude, and that attitude is gratitude. And the snap you just heard is a spiritual practice that gives us life and meaning. Snap is on your screen, and we recommend you take some time to meditate on both it and our statement of infinitude by visiting our website at myif.org. The Essence Snap is for spirituality that transcends religion and connects you to the God of your own understanding. The N is for nurturing of ourselves and others, mind, body, and spirit. The A is for action, because we take action on our callings and walk in our divine purpose every day. And finally, y'all, the P is for the proof that our spiritual practices manifest fruit in our lives through the building and maintaining of healthy and prosperous families, relationships, careers, and dreams, and etc. Yes, we are grateful you all are here as unique manifestations of our Creator, the loving, living spirit of our commonality, the divine source of all creation, perceived by many names, yet known by only one energy.
Yes.
I invite you to join us with reading the affirmation of our statement of infinitude.
We agree that we are beings of pure, eternal spirit, birthed from the creative potential of the universe, with all the powers of the Creator inherent within us. We embrace the innate goodness of humankind and abundant creation that provides for us through the seeds that we plant in our everyday lives. We acknowledge that who we are is housed in a temporary biological organism, and as such, it is our responsibility to take care of it because it will only last for a precious window of time. As we nurture ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, we commit to provide like acts of nurturing for our fellow brothers and sisters of the world we live in, embracing all regardless of religious faith, skin color, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic background. All are truly welcome at Infinity. We agree and accept that various religions exist as a unique opportunity for humanity to get to know one another through meaningful conversations that seek to explore the core concepts we share in common. It is the application of ancient wisdom, scientific discovery, and spiritual practices, both physical and metaphysical, that will lead us closer together as a human family. We commit to exist now and ever as a beloved community.
Let it be so according to the many ancient terms of affirmation. Amen.
Amen.
Amin.
Amen.
Hotep.
Hotep.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Ashe.
Ashe. Deep breath in here. Exhale to release. That is what we're all about at the Infinity Fellowship. That's why we welcome you back into this space today. That's why we invite you to like the page if you're on Facebook. That's why we invite you to subscribe if you're on YouTube. We went from 99 subscribers when we started YouTube to 100, which gave us our own page, to over 1.6 thousand right now. We'd love to double that as we get ready to open into the space of an infinite stream. I get to say welcome to our visitors right now. Rev Jeff is saying to everybody out there, you are at home. If this is your first time at Infinity Fellowship, I invite you to type first time in the box so that we can see your name, and we will welcome you in. People will give you high fives and muscle arms and hearts and likes and loves to welcome you into your new home. Even as an infinite streamer, you're a very important part of what we do at Infinity. And we like to say a special welcome to you now. So as we welcome you into this space where people make the quantum leap from simple religious doctrine into profound, open, and expansive spirituality, we let you know that we see you. And at Infinity today, we do not see you as an individual, as a human being who showed up to have a spiritual experience. We know that's going to happen for you. We know it's happening for you now in the ritual. But we really see you as what you truly are, and that's the other way around. You are a spirit who is navigating the human experience just like the rest of us. So we have a special way that we like to greet you when you're in person, but we know that you will feel this as we send it to you online. So for our first timers, we send this message to you. To everybody else, y'all know how we do it. If you got a loved one in your family or a friend who's standing near you, turn to them and hold your hands up to them. Look in their eyes and be mindful in this moment of just how awesome they are. And if they're running around in the kitchen cooking or getting some coffee or getting some cereal, tell them just hold on a second. I got something to tell you, and I want to deliver this to you. So you can repeat after me in this space. Deep breath in and release. I see you, but you don't hear me though. I really see the real you. I see who you are. You are a divine manifestation of God's creation. I see what you are. You are a spirit. You're more than what's on the outside. You are a gift to me and to the entire world. I see where you are. You're right here in front of me, where I can let you know, if nobody else will, that you are not alone. I am with you, and you are at home. I see when you are. You're in the right now, baby. You are so much more than your yesterday. I see why you are. You're here to learn, to grow, to embrace your dreams, and to celebrate your divine destiny. I know all this because I'm here to do the same thing. So we're going to help each other out. All right? I know the real you, and I see you shining today. I feel you shining today. So welcome to infinity. Welcome home. Ashe. Dance it out at home, dance it out at home, bust your move at home, bust your move at home, yeah. Got what I need, but you said it's just a friend. You said it's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need, but you say it's just a friend. You say it's just a friend. Oh, Nobody beats the biz, yeah, y'all. What an awesome moment of celebration to our first timers. We're in there, Brother Herb and Soul Sanctuary, first timer. Y'all show that love to Herb up in the house. We see you. We're glad you made it here. We're glad you got here. Don't worry, you're not here by accident. You're here on purpose. You're here for a reason. Every single person is in alignment. In the Yoruba tradition of Ifa, there's an Odu, there's a scripture that says, there's an old proverb, there are no accidents in Ifa. There are no accidents in divine wisdom. So you are absolutely where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be here. Even if you're watching on the replay, you replayed it at the right time in your life for something to be received in this space that will provide spiritual food. Ashe. It's time for our Giving at Infinity. Giving is our wonderful time that we get excited about here. Why do we get excited about giving? Because we ain't scared of money. We know it's a tool, it's just energy. We're not afraid of giving because we know we receive. We receive clothing, we receive shelter, we receive divine purpose, we receive healed relationships, we receive physical bodies that are strong, we receive prosperity in our family and all that we have around us. We even receive the ability to breathe every single day. So if you got up this morning and you're breathing, guess what? It's a gift. And if you don't think it's a gift, then ask somebody who was related to somebody who didn't wake up this morning, who didn't start breathing, who had a dream in the middle of being manifested and left this earth before it got done because they pushed it off. You're still here. You still have an opportunity to do everything on your checklist. I remember, Sister Kanitha, when I was growing up, there was a little old lady who used to do a commercial for Wendy's, and she would pop up and say, "Where's the beef?" You remember that? "Where's the beef?" That lady was in her 70s, I believe, when she started doing that commercial where nobody knew who she was, but she was remembered evermore from the wealth that she got in her 70s from being picked to do that commercial. True. She got recognized internationally for everybody remembered the "Where's the beef" lady. And so you never know when your time is. It could be at 12, it could be at 22, it could be at 92, but you still are here and you're in it. So because you are receiving spaces, we practice the giving element at Infinity, and we practice it joyfully because we recognize that you can't receive and not give back because you block that stream. When you hold on to things and you operate from a space of lack, that's why you see lack manifesting. The universe only reads the signal that you're sending out. So if you send out, "I can't afford I'm enjoying the energy. Oh, it's uplifted, but I just don't have anything to give. I just don't have anything to give. I don't have anything to give." Guess what? The universe doesn't judge good or bad. It just amplifies your signal. So it gives you more of not having anything to give, right? But when you give in a space where you're giving freely, and you're either tithing, which is giving a tenth of what you receive back to the space where you receive your spiritual food, I practice that, or you're also giving an offering. So you can give an offering today, whatever your heart moves you to give, for you to break that cycle. And for many of us who come to Infinity, I'm not going to preach to the choir. You've seen the manifestations in your life. Yes. You've seen the standing ovations. We talk about new jobs, new opportunities, new open doors. Guess what? It's because you have received the giving spirit in your heart. So I am grateful to the many of you who have partnered with us to manifest this institution. This institution exists because of you. And so I thank you for not the sacrifice, but the investment, because the investment has grown us to a space of outreach that, as you see, is now global. People all over the world who have been seeking a space that is more spiritual than religious, and many of them were operating on their own and didn't know there was a community for them to come together, now have this space called the Infinity Fellowship. Thank you from the depths of my heart and from everybody here for participating in that way. Now's the time for our giving. And now that we are prepared in the right mindset, just like prayer, meditation, just like good morning and gratitude, just like libations, giving is a sacred part of the service, and we want to send this giving out. We can send that giving out via Cash App. We can send it out via PayPal. We can send it out via snail mail. But most importantly, we're going to send it out with good energy. So repeat after me. Everything is good.
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 I got it.
I got it.
I got it.
I got it.
I got it good.
I got it good.
Ooh, Hummel said, I got it, we got it. I got it, you got it. I got it, you got it, we got it good. Yes. How about that? Something in my spirit was saying, we all together on this. Yes. So let us supercharge our offering, because we don't want to send out what you're pouring into this ministry. We don't want to send that out just throwing it in. We want to add the intention to it so that it can be amplified in your life as well in a number of unexpected and expected ways. So let's go to our offertory affirmation. Let's take a deep breath in, inhale, exhale. Good. Focus that energy of good, recognition of the love that surrounds us, and let's speak this affirmation together. Oh, limitless, abundant Creator, source of everything I possess, you have given me the gifts of life, breath, and creativity. You continue to provide for me without judgment or preference, and so I freely return these gifts to you with my whole heart, mind, and intention, knowing that as I give freely with both remembrance and gratitude, the circle of abundance will be unbroken, and so it is. Ah, everything is good, y'all. The slides are on the screen showing you how to give. Our Cash App is simple. $ Infinity Fellowship. Our PayPal is simple as well. PayPal.me, wherever you are in the world, / Infinity Fellowship. And of course by mail right here at the Infinity Center, 641 West Nocturne Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, 37207. Go ahead and hum it with us. Go ahead and sing it with us. Give with us. You can take a picture of the screen if you need to, or screenshot it. Hold your phone up to the code for Cash App, and we're good. Sing along with us. We'll go back and forth and put some announcements in too while we're giving.
Everything is good. Everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Everything is good. And I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Hey, everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good. right there.
That's a great one right there. That's a great one right there. Awesome. Let's get it for our announcement spot.
Yes. Oh.
Let's go. Let's roll. Come on. Walk on by.
All right, y'all. We're going to go right into our announcements. I missed the memo there. Yes, y'all, just bear with me. Okay, good morning, Infinity. As always, if you got something great that you want to report as a standing ovation for later, go ahead and type it in the chat box now. So for you that might be new, there's a point in this, after I give a few announcements, that you are going to be able to share something spectacular. You get a report on something good that has happened in your life this week, and we want to join in with you on that good vibration. So if you have something to share, go ahead and type it in, because you know we get a little bit of a delay. So type it in now. It'll be ready when we get to standing ovations. Okay, welcome to July the 7th month of 2021, the year of alignment. Our daily mantra is remember, everything's going my way. And then we sing it. Everything's going my way. We speak that you're being safe at home and embracing this opportunity to explore your spirituality on a deeper level than ever before. Here are a couple of reminders of things that are happening at Infinity. All right, so guess what, y'all? Save the date for our 5th annual Infinity Back to School Bash. Woo, we've been doing this now for 5 years. It's epic. So parents, we're back, and even last year's pandemic didn't close down our annual event. This is our 5th year of providing school supply support and a boost of fun for our young people. We'll be emailing and texting details on the event soon. For now, save the date and let's do it again. And remember, we will put a call out for us all in the community to make sure that we are able to donate, because we want to set our kids right for school in the fall. So we'll send that out to everybody so you'll be able to join in too. All right, y'all. Join us next week for Yoga Sunday. Woo. Last month, Rev Jeff focused on the sacral chakra. This month, the focus is the solar plexus chakra. Yay, solar plexus! The energy center that harbors our willpower energy. Get our aura flowing next week on the mat at Yoga Sunday. Listen, it is for all levels. You are beginners. I am always at beginner level, okay? So if I can do it, then you can do it. So join us for an epic week next week for Yoga Sunday. All right, now, guess what? It's time for Standing Ovation. Hey.
Tune your vibration to a high elevation. It's time for the good news, our standing ovation.
Our high energy here, and it comes from our practice of snap. It's why we snap our fingers during this part of the service. We receive practical lessons and tools for our individual journeys. That's spirituality. We fellowship with like-minded spirits, what we're doing now, every week, and that's nurturing. We take what we learn and we apply it in our lives. That's action. And if we do these, then guess what? Every week, we'll see progress in our lives, and that's the proof. So let us pause to enjoy a collective moment of manifestation and expansion. We'll call off your names as we receive them and manifestations. When your name is called, we will snap our fingers. You've seen us do that a lot. Snap our fingers to simply affirm them and then provide a collective standing ovation at the end.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's see if we've got some standing ovations coming in. We got, of course, some people coming in we've got Rowena coming in. Greetings from Mississippi.
Oh.
Hear my crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback I. Y'all don't know nothing about
No,
that.
I've heard it, but I never knew how to say it.
You can't. You didn't remember that? That's the way to teach it.
Okay.
Now I bet if I tried that, somebody would say you're trying to teach critical race theory. I'm like, it's so conflated. Come on, man. It's a great saying and a great way to remember the great state of Mississippi. Good to have you in that space. So let's go to our first ovation, which is from Sister K. Renee, Sister Keisha. Keisha is in the house. Half holy, half hood. That means don't pray. That means pray for me. Don't pray with me. Don't play with me. You're half hood, half holy. I love it. We saw your T-shirt. It's a great T-shirt. See, and she don't play. I love it. Sister Keisha, I booked a role. Not I hope to book, but booked. ED. Booked ED. Past tense, which means it's manifested. I booked a role in a movie and will be flying out this Wednesday to film. Keisha almost come on, movie. Remember us on the red carpet? We behind the yellow line, you know.
What?
And we reaching. Make sure you just acknowledge, you know, you can do parade wave, you know, with the premiere. Congratulations, Sister Keisha. We know that you've been in this and you have continually stayed with your dream. You found a way, out of no way, to continue to plant that seed. It's awesome to see it manifesting for you. So congratulations on booking that role. Safe journeys. I don't even have to tell you to do a great job or break a leg because you're just going to be you. That's what got you the role. So keep it going, y'all. We got a movie star on the thread.
I know. That makes two. At least we can get in there with Alicia.
We got Alicia. We got Alicia, Keisha.
Yes.
We won't talk. You got a role in a movie that's out now. I think it's streaming. I think I saw you. You too.
Okay, well,
I got a couple that are
you
down,
too.
so I think you're streaming. You too. You also.
Oh.
We have a lot of talent in Infinity
we
in this
do.
space. So, you know, Tony's a trained stunt man and actor. We just got all of it.
Woo, woo.
So we got it manifest, and we love it. Let's go to our next standing ovation, which we have Brother Tony. Speaking of Tony, my job rewarded, again, past tense, manifestation. My job rewarded me a bonus for getting 5 5-star reviews from patrons who were pleased with my customer service.
Oh, yeah. Go, Tony. Go, Tony.
You got to teach people how they want to be treated, and Tony, consistently, brother, you do that.
Yes.
Your energy is always on point, man. You always radiate the good. When you walk in this space, you radiate the good. Even though you go through stuff, you always radiate the good. And that's why you always have good things happen to you, brother. So it's going, and it just gets better and better from here. It's a consistent pattern, man. Keep on, brother. Love you, brother Tony. Huh? Just gave you, and Tony said, I just gave my 10% too from the bonus. I love it. That's how we do it. I get those good things. I'm like, oh, yes, bam. I don't even wait till Sunday. I just, as soon as it comes in, I'm like, I'm keeping this rolling. It just keeps coming. Standing ovation. Remind me to say, I've got one about traveling. Okay, great. We got Tashana. Tashana's in the house, her and Terrell. Our daughter Taylor wants everyone to know she has been doing good on her multiplication worksheets. Multiplication worksheets. You've been mastering them, sister. Taylor, you're a genius. You hear us?
Yes.
Taylor, Terrell, get everybody around there. We got Tashana in there, young, just brilliant folks out in Mesa. We're looking forward to seeing y'all one day. But Taylor, we're going to look at you right now and remind you, people all over the world are watching this right now. And when we send the standing ovation, we're sending the standing ovation for you, baby, because you are mastering mathematics.
That's right.
Because you are a genius. You understand that's in you. So thank you for mastering your multiplication. Mom and Dad, thank you for working with her. You are manifesting the good. We love you. That's a fact that will not change. All right. Terrell is in the house. Talia, 6 years old, another standing ovation, wants to share that she learned how to tell time on an analog clock.
Oh, go, baby.
This is a skill in this day and age.
It is.
You say, what time it is? What time is it? People,
Get your phone out and
Talia, this day and age, when you say, what time is it? People do this, right? When I was growing up, people did this. And that was looking at a watch. And you'll see that the greatest people of accomplishment that you see out there, notice that they're probably going to have a watch on as well. So you are putting yourself in a vibration of greatness as well. Congratulations on being able to tell the big hand from the little hand and the second hand. It's a skill that's going to last you for the rest of your life. When you come and we do the sweat lodge, we might have to do a sundial, and we can teach you about that too. But in the meantime, Bless you for that. Awesome. Uplifting our kids, man. Got the whole family. Standing ovation. Awesome. Angela Bartlett Treese is in the house. Daughter Hillary made A's in summer school.
Oh, come on, Hillary. Yes.
I love it when you go to summer school to advance.
Yes.
And you get those A's.
Man.
When I was coming up, I went to summer school to make up for what I didn't do in regular school, but I got out anyway. And I'm grateful. So Hillary, straight A's,
job, Hillary.
Academic achievement.
Yes.
This is fabulous. You know that we're getting a lot of young people accomplishments too today, which is phenomenal, because we're going to be talking about childhood in a minute and past in a minute. We're going to that. So we're great to have you in this place. Awesome. So good. Okay, so I'm going to make sure anybody else is in there. Good. We got those standing ovations. I got a standing ovation that I want to give because we're getting ready to make a trip.
True.
We're going to go on a journey for a minute. It's going to be great. We'll be back for Yoga Sunday next week, and we have a lot to share. But I know that I've been making some ends happen. And, of course, operating in that space of giving, I got a call to do some out-of-town counseling intervention work that I do. So I, on a dime, we were looking up, and it just came out of nowhere. I got a text from an agency out of Georgia. They said, hey, can you make it to the West Coast, or the East Coast, and then back to Texas, and then back to Nashville in 24 hours? And I was able to put in the go bag, and the stand ovation is I was able to go there, get things resolved, and help a family in a great way, get back to my family in 24 hours. I was all over the place. And we're able to get back safely and sound. And my standing ovation is also to you, Sister Kenitha, for holding it down with the family and the kids and Infinity and everything that was going on while I was gone. So I'm in a space of gratitude. I'm off the chain today, and I'm very glad about being off the chain. So standing ovation to that. All right, we're congratulating everybody. So tell us what we do, sis.
So. Okay, so now what we're going to do, if you have shared, stay seated, okay? Wherever you are, stay seated. If you shared something great, stay seated. And then the rest of us from where all over the world that we are, we're going to rise to our feet and give an outrageous standing ovation. Okay, here we go. All right. Those are the announcements and ovations for today. So it is spoken, so it is received, and so it is. Ashe.
We prepare now for our If Speak Sunday. We prepare in this moment, rather, for If Speak Sunday. We invite you into the space today. We invite you to join us as we begin If Speaks. If Speaks is a very special time for us because it gives us an opportunity to not only reflect, but to connect in a very special spiritual space. This is the song that we sing as we prepare for If Speaks. It puts us in the mindset of good. It also puts us in the mindset of remembrance for where we are and what we're doing. So as we come into the space today, we want to invite you to sing a song with us, Sister Kenitha. We've got one of the great voices of Infinity here, the founder of the Voices of Infinity. But we're ready to talk now, y'all. We're ready to get your journals together. If you are a person who has been working on your spiritual journey, we invite you to begin to take notes. We begin to get deep into a very powerful subject today. And so this is also the time you say, hey, that flyer you saw on Instagram or Facebook, they're about to talk about it now. And we're going to be very open and honest and transparent. When we look back and we hear songs like Come and Go, we have sung that song every single third Sunday for If Speaks, even when it was If Talks, I think. But we started out. Faith Speaks. Faith Speaks. And now it's If Speaks. When we talk about If Speaks, we want to make sure that you understand that tradition is like a foundation. It's something that's laid down that is then built upon. So we think about our ancestors and the soul songs that they sang and the work songs that they sang, especially here in America. We understand that they were moving through things, that they were putting pain into a vibratory space of healing. So when they were talking about come and go to that land, was it that they were waiting for pie in the sky, or that they understood that by focusing on the heavenly space, that you're focusing on a space of consciousness? That consciousness space exists because it's here in the right now. It's not in the future. Even Christ, Jesus the Christ of Nazareth, taught that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. You will not be able to look for it and point to it and say it's low here or it's low there. It's already here. So that space is a space of consciousness. So we're going to sing a few verses. I'm personally grateful because, I had a sinus thing, and that sinus thing got me, and I couldn't sing a full verse of anything. And so my voice is feeling back. I'm feeling pretty good. So I hope I don't get to shout. And if I do, hey man, I love it. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land where I'm bound. Oh, there is joy in that land. There is joy in that land. There is joy in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There is joy in that land. There is joy in that land. There is joy in that land where I'm bound. There is love in that land. Oh, there is love in that land. There is love in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There is love in that land. There is love in that land. Oh, there is love in that land where I'm bound. Oh, don't you want to go to that land? Don't you want to go to that land? Don't you want to go to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound? Don't you want to go to that land? Don't you want to go to that land? Oh, don't you want to go to that land, yeah, where I'm bound. Deep breath, y'all. It's time to grow up. That's the message today. It's time to grow up. Grow up. Healing conversations on moving beyond the framing of your childhood as your present life. When we talk about our childhood as our present life, I want to bring up today's meditation. Today's meditation comes from a well-known Buddhist monk. I believe he's 96 now. I believe he's 96. But he gave us an amazing quote that's coming up on the screen now. Thich Nhat Hanh. Say that 7 times fast. Thich Nhat Hanh, right? But he gave us a great quote. And I'm going to read this, and then I'm just going to let it sit there and let you take 3 deep breaths on it. Quote, people have a hard time letting go of their suffering. Out of a fear of the unknown, they prefer suffering that is familiar. All right, well, Sister Kenitha, we're in the space. I don't want to overpower, so I'm going to say, yeah, we're good. Yeah, no, I'm talking loud. I didn't want to overpower into 2 mics.
I'm trying to hold this mic, y'all, and this is just, you know.
I get you stand.
To be real, it's like just sit down. Okay.
We can add another verse. You can just say, go and get me that stand. I don't mind. When that quote comes up and we're talking about letting go, I wonder how many of you have felt that moment where you know you need a change, you're ready to make a change, you're ready to grow, but the unknown is unfamiliar. So because of the unknown, people have such an innate fear of the unknown that they'd rather stick with things that harm them that they know. We hear people say that the devil that I know is better than the devil that I don't know. How do you know that? Who told you that? You may not have to deal with the devil anymore. But there's something about a template that has been inscribed in your consciousness that is still unresolved as grown-ups. For my young people, if you're gathered around, if you're talking with your parents now, if you're a high schooler or a college student or a young person immediately out, guess what? You have an opportunity to get ahead of this a little more than some of the older folks who are watching as well. But we all have a responsibility to keep these things in mind and to ask why we take the actions that we take. Much of what we do stems from unresolved issues in our childhood. Unresolved issues in our childhood. What do you mean by unresolved? Well, to solve something is to complete something. It's to complete, like, say, a puzzle. When you solve a puzzle, you put all of the puzzles together. When you are continually acting toward resolution and you have resolved, is a prefix that means back or again. So that means that you are continually resolving something. You are continually solving a problem. Many of us are resolved because we have resolved that we are not going backwards in our lives. We have resolved that we are going to think outside the box. We are resolved that we're going to choose to be responsible for our own spirituality. That's being resolved. When we are unresolved, though, we are undoing it. So we have 2 prefixes there that are saying we are never in a space where we can solve problems because something is preventing us from doing that. And often it is our unresolved childhood. We end up acting out our childhood as adults. We do it spiritually, we do it intellectually, we do it mentally, we do it physically. We act and enact things from our childhood that affect our grown-up life. How many have been in spiritual spaces or religious spaces, and they stayed in those spaces because that's the way they were raised. You were taught that if you read your Bible, you read your Quran, you read your Bhagavad Gita, whatever it was that was your document for your family, that if you read it religiously, that if you went to Sunday school, that you went to church, that you went to Bible study on Wednesday night, that you sang in the choir, then that was going to solve all of your problems. But it did not heal your relationships. It did not bring you to a space of resolution where you felt it made sense to you. You were not allowed to ask questions. You were not allowed the space to grow. You were not given the capacity to deal with intricate relationships because what you were learning was something that was very much focused on the external elements. You were doing the dogma. You were doing the ritual, and yet you were having real world problems that were unresolvable. And when you brought them into the religious space ignored it. That's why we have so many problems in the religious space. When you talk about people who dealt with being hurt in religious spaces, we have a number of people who finally come to Infinity and say, you know what? I have had problems in religious spaces. I dealt with hypocrisy. I dealt with people ignoring my problems. I dealt with abuse. I dealt with molestation. All of these imprint people as children with a template that if you don't move toward the space of resolution and moving forward, you will hold on to and continue to act out repeatedly in your lives and your relationships. This is how we do. So I've got 3 points that we want to give, and then we're going to open it up for discussion for questions that you might have around the 3 points. Something here is going to bless you. Number 1, stop driving under the influence. Number 1, stop driving under the influence. You know, you get a DUI if you're driving under the influence of illegal substances or even legal substances, but you get pulled over, they give you a DUI. I don't want you to get a spiritual DUI. So number 1, you have to stop driving in the present based on your past. Stop driving your life forward based on previous impressions that were made from you. We understand you may have had a hurtful relationship when you were younger that put an impression on you. You may have been in the presence of people who were non-responsive in relationships, and it gave you an impression. You may have been in the presence of someone who was abusive, and it gave you a template in your mind that men or women were abusive. You may have been in a space where people took advantage of you, and you allowed that to give you an impression of how relationships are. You may have had friends who turned on you, who made you feel ostracized, who made you feel as if you didn't fit. That is very, very valuable. It impresses upon us a template for how we live. You cannot use that same template then now to live going forward because you're not in that space anymore. You're not in the space anymore. And if you find yourself in that space repeatedly, here are some of the symptoms. You say things like, I'm not good enough. Dave Ramsey started a whole international movement by using this false humility statement when people say, how you doing? Oh, better than I deserve. It was, oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah, you're right. You know, we don't deserve all the good in the world. So you've been operating from a space that you're doing better than you deserve. Who said you don't deserve it? When did you accept a moment that you don't deserve good things happening to you? What impression was made on you that made you feel that you were less than? And when did you accept it as a fact that you were less than? That you were not good enough? If you find yourself in your spirit seeing something good happen to you and you finding yourself saying, I don't deserve this, or I'm just so grateful because, oh, I just didn't deserve this. Of course you deserved it. Did you go through the pain? Did you go through the work? Did you go through the study? Did you go through elevating through that
complex matrix of corporate America, wherever you might be, entrepreneurship, musicality, dreaming, writing? Did you? Of course you did. You invested a seed in your success, and the universe responded. God responded. The ancestors responded. They responded by rewarding you. When you stop driving under the influence, then you move to a space where you understand that the good that is awaiting for you is waiting for you to shift your mindset. Stop living in the past. Point number two, do the math with your past. Do the math with your past. I got some siblings. And they're probably watching. I'm just telling you right now, they're probably watching. So look, I love y'all. But there are dynamics that siblings have growing up. For those of you who have siblings. If you don't have siblings, you got cousins. If you ain't got cousins, you got friends. If you ain't got friends, you got bullies in the neighborhood. Whatever it is, I want you to look at your early years. I just want you to think about your past. And what you find in family constructs like that is you find that people began to remember their childhood, and you begin to interact with each other as if you're still children. Somebody may say something about you, and your brother or your sister would say, oh, no, I know them. I grew up with them. They BSing you. I grew up with them. I know them. That's not who they are. Guess what, though? We talked about the formation of adulthood, which really doesn't happen until your mid to late 20s, when your brain is actually functioning together in concert with each other, and all your synaptic patterns are now formed as fully formed adults. But consider this, from 0 to 18, you're still considered by the law a child. But many of us stayed in our homes until we went to college or school, or until we moved out at 19 or 20, whatever it may have been. Our relationships with our siblings were based on each other as children. Well, Johnny's a crybaby. Billy's a bully. His sister is this. That may be who they were when they were growing up in a household as children trying to determine who they are. But are they who they are like that now? The dynamics change. So a lot of the conflicts, Sister Kenitha, that I find when people are having issues in relationships, it's because they are seeing their grown-up friends and siblings as they were growing up as children. So their dynamics are the same. If they were bullied by people as children, they have something against them now as grown-ups. If they had a pecking order in the household where they felt like they were not listened to, or that they weren't recognized by the parents, or they didn't have the attention paid to them, they hold on to that. And then this is where the conflicts come. This is how family reunions get turned out. And it's usually turned out not at the beginning of the family reunion, not at the beginning when the meal is blessed, but when the red Solo cups have come out of the back of the trunks and people have taken a few sips. And then afterwards, when it's all spread around and somebody pulls out some cards and everybody's playing spades, and then people all of a sudden start getting loose, and they say, well, that's why, when you were 14 and you stole that car, I didn't say anything. They said, well, how's fun? And then all of a sudden, family reunion has turned into chaos, fist fights. All because people are living in a past pattern of relationships. When I've counseled people who had success in life, and their siblings say to them, oh, you think you all that. I remember, but you remember, no, I used to beat you up. When you were 6, I used to beat you up. I used to own you. I still own you. Do the math on your past. Please do the math. Let me do the math on my past. Let me do the math on my past, because I'm going to do this. Recovery-wise, I'm the middle child. I'm the notorious middle child, right? The middle child, older brother Greg, awesome guy. Younger sister Gussie, awesome young lady, awesome woman now, grown woman. I'm the middle child. So from the middle child's perspective, I'm thinking everything is wrong. I'm thinking I'm not enough. I'm thinking I don't understand how to relate. I'm in an awkward space. High school goes, my brother goes ahead of me. Middle school, my sister's under me. I had some issues in my own head. I wasn't that confident about things. I had a number of skin issues because when I got to be 12 years old, I got a best friend. And this is back when DeBarge was in play. This is back when DeBarge was the hot group.
Yes.
So guess what? The brown skin brothers were not in back then. My best friend was light skinned with real curly hair. And the young ladies in school let us know that. And I used to get the caveat. They would say, oh, well, at least he got good hair, because I used to wear waves. And I remember that as an impression, right? So I carried that with me for a while. There was a young lady who I liked. She had a certain kind of look. She rejected me. 7th grade. I chased her. Oh, my gosh, like a dog chases his tail. She rejected me. Through high school and even early parts of college, I pursued women who looked just like her. Because in my childhood, that rejection poured into my ego, and I felt I had the need to conquer. I had the need to fix that because it was a hole in me. I'm being transparent with y'all today because it's important that we recognize this energy. It's important that we ask, why are we doing the things that we do? Not so that we can keep living in them, but so that we can live and move beyond those spaces. When you talk about those relationships, I'm doing the math. I don't have, look, you do the math, however old you are. I guarantee you if you're a grown-up, this is going to be interesting to you. I was talking to a good friend day before yesterday. We did the math on the past. Having issues with her siblings. Same issues that they had around the dinner table growing up. Same issues that they had in high school and middle school. And I said, let's do some math. I said, looked at myself. I said, how old am I? 53 years old, almost 54. I was in my household from 0 to 18. 0 to 18 in the formative years of my life. But from 18 or 19 forward to 53, subtract the 0 to 18 from your life. That was your childhood. Or 0 to 17. How old are you right now? Note, most of you, many of you watching, your years after your childhood are cumulatively longer than the years that you were around those childhood friends and those relationships. For me, it's 35. 35 years of living as a fully grown adult with my own opinions on the world, with my own calling in life that are not attached to those 18 years fully of my formative years when I was still trying to figure out what was what. You are punishing yourselves. We punish ourselves when we lock ourselves into the relationship dynamics of children because we have a rich opportunity to move forward in a powerful way. Third point that attaches to here, we've got stop driving under the influence, do the math on your past, and live in the now, because that's the last point. Live in the now, not the then. Live in the now, not the then. The reason why it's important for us to live in the now, then I'm going to take some questions. If you have some questions on how to deal with things, you have some issues going on, this is an open space. We want you to deal. You can do it generally, and we will help you move through some of those things because this is also about healing. When you live in the now, not the then, you have a remarkable opportunity. Because I get to share now with my brother and my sister the 35 years of who I am. And what have I found out? I found out that when you ask me what my brother likes, what his favorite dish is, I can't point you to some of that nasty stuff I saw him eat as a 15-year-old. I'm pretty sure he doesn't eat it anymore. But and for me to point it out and to hold on to that, it doesn't make sense because that's not who he is. But guess what? I'd like to get to know what his favorite food is right now. It's a remarkable opportunity for that. And one of the things I've discovered about my elder brother Greg, a lot of them watch him on TV and they know him as a great intellect. My older brother Greg as a grown man is a fascinating grown man to me. And over the years when we get the chance to visit and have conversation, I don't look at how we were as kids because it brings up a whole bunch of other stuff. It brings up the competitive energy. It brings up the doubt energy. It brings up how should I move in this world energy. But guess what? Man to man, we now have an opportunity to get to know each other and continue to get to know each other better. And I found out that he's fascinating, and he's funny. He's got a great sense of humor, and he has great relationships with his colleagues. My sister, the same way. My sister is not my little sister Gussie, who we used to pick up by her head when she was little, when she was screaming and hollering. She's not, right? But if I stick in that relationship, or if she relates to me in that way and does not resolve that, then that's what's going to come up when we get together. That's where negativity comes up. But when I say no, she's an accomplished healthcare professional. She's got great kids. And my nephew is a star soccer player playing in Spain. My niece is running track and making great grades and learning music. And my brother-in-law is a great guy and played professional football, is now doing great things. Well, I can now get to know the good that is in the right now and to explore the things I do not know without fear. Because sometimes it is hard. It's harder to get to know the now than it is to live in the unknown, because the old space as it was in the quote seems so familiar that we began to self-generate comments that become manifestations. All right, let's go, Sister Kadita, because I know you got some stuff to chime in on that, and then we're going to do this, because when cultivating grown-up relationships, I want you to point out one thing. If you're acting based on what happened in your childhood now, how much sense does it make? Because you're not physically a kid anymore. So why would you act as a kid in a grown-up relationship? Why would you see a right now relationship as you would as a child? Oh, when I was a child, I behaved as a child, I spake as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. When I became a woman, I put away childish things. Childish things incorporates your mind, your body, your spirit, and we want you to grow up today. We want you to move forward in that space today.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it hit me, too, from just even the welcome, I think it was. And me and Tony were just saying it to each other. And then it hit me so much more than your yesterday.
Yes.
You're so much more than your yesterday. And I was like, that moment really hit me, because I was like, a lot of times when we're living in the past, or we continue to bring up things from the past, or we're trying to regain from the past, so we're still trying to dress young, or we're still trying to look young, or we're still trying to have young conversations, or we're on social media and our kids are on there trying to navigate themselves. But for some reason, we can't let go of being a child.
We're trying to navigate and be like the kids.
We're trying to outdo our children, and all this kind of thing. And so I was like, but what it tends to do is it keeps us in a locked state of being. Because every day, you're so much more than your yesterday. That's how we are supposed to live. Mm-hmm. That's how we are supposed to evolve mentally. That's how we're supposed to evolve spiritually. Is that you're more than your yesterday, that you are continuing to grow and evolve on this path. So it's always interesting to me, even with that, living the now, not the then, is that because, and going back to the quote, because living in the now is unfamiliar, mm-hmm. and we are so familiar. We've spent a lot of years trying to regain things from the past, trying to save the child that may have gone through some things that we wanted to fix. Then we're always stuck in that place, and we're never able to evolve.
Isn't it interesting, though, that we often, we try to fix others in order to fix ourselves?
Before fixing ourselves.
No, especially before fixing ourselves. This is where it gets dangerous, because sometimes people will say, as my life's mission, I'm going out to heal other people. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take care of battered women, or I'm going to take care of abused kids, or I'm going to take care of that without having healed themselves. Right. You cannot heal other people without healing yourself first. You have to be the example for the healing. No matter how many people you get with, no matter how many kids you try to save, if you have a place inside you that is unresolved, You fixing them is only going to give you temporary satisfaction, and it's not going to give you satisfaction to yourself, who is who you truly are. It's only going to temporarily satisfy your ego. That's the external gratification that we get from being able to say, yep, I fixed them. I did right. I lifted them up. I helped them out. But did you help yourself? Because if not, it's like drug addiction. You're going to continue to seek out people that you can fix or that you think you can fix, but you will never be able to cling to the concept of resolution. This is what we were talking about this the other day. And we talk about, you ever been around somebody who says, you heard them say this? Oh, I just keep picking losers in my life. I don't know what I do. I just keep picking bad people. I don't know why. Bad people are just attracted to me. Oh, man, I can't get the right kind of, woman I go around, man, they just horrible. Guess what? Yes, because you're speaking it and because you have accepted that there's a pattern there. So if you have been impressed early with a pattern of negativity, with a pattern of abuse, with a pattern of loss, with a pattern of being used, if you think that's the template, you will unconsciously draw that energy to you. And Kanitha made a great rhyme the other. Said you will continue to attract losers, users. No, did I do that one? But you had a good one. I wrote what you said down too. You will continue to attract losers, users, and abusers. If the men in your life that you have seen early on are abusive, do a quick inventory right now, male or female. Do a quick inventory in your life and see if there's a relationship pattern for what you tend to choose. This is the early impression. Psychologically speaking, for children, it begins to program your subconscious with a template. And if you are not mindful of it, if you're not mindful to stop driving under the influence, you will relax into what you believe is normal. This is where you hear people say, they beat me because they love me. And we will gasp at that. Oh, that's never going to happen to me. Guess what? It could be something to a degree smaller, but it's the same thing. Go ahead.
But here's the thing.
And if you have a question, type it in the box now because we won't be on much longer, but we want to make sure we help you. So if you have a question, type it in.
So it's also getting familiar with the unfamiliar. Like I want to go back to that beginning point. So we are very familiar with all the drama, trauma, all of that in our lives. We are very familiar with that. I mean, we have dug into it. We've spent a lot of time with it. We can tell you what happened to us, left, back, front, all of that.
Yes.
But we're not familiar with the good. When we went through that, we're not familiar with what that feels like. We're not familiar with when Akua was talking about that, writing that vision and, being steadfast with it. We're not familiar. We're not even familiar with our vision. We're not familiar with our goals. We're not familiar with the things that we want to see impressed in our lives. We're not familiar with this new person, this new evolved being that is coming into place. We're not familiar with that. So it is going to take some time. We have to get familiar with the unfamiliar. How do you know what it feels like to feel good if you've never dived into what that is? How do you know that, things can work out for you if you haven't spent time in that energy? How do you know that you can have a healed body or healed relationships if you're not already feeling it now in the present tense?
That's good.
So it's more about getting familiar with the unfamiliar, because that other way of living life, what does that look like?
That's good. And here's the question that we ask all the time. How's it working for you? How's the cycle of doing the same old stuff over and over again and expecting a different result? Insanity as defined by Einstein, how's it working for you? The question that came up when Sister Kanitha was talking is, can you get familiar with the good? Ask yourself that question in your consciousness. Can I get familiar with the good? Good. Now take a deep breath in. Exhale to release. Repeat after me. I am becoming familiar with the good.
I am becoming familiar with the good.
The good is who I am.
The good is who I am.
The good is what I deserve.
The good is what I deserve.
I embrace the good.
I embrace the good.
Because that's me right now.
Because that's me right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Those are affirmations that you have to say. So much better.
Than your yesterday.
You are so much more
so much
than
better than
your
the past. So much
yesterday.
better
You're so much more.
Yeah.
Right? We have to be in this space where we have an opportunity. And here's a question. I've got, Tashana's got a question. I'm going to put this up on the screen. It's a good question. If you have one, type it in. I'm giving you all the 3 to 5 minute warning on the questions because it's a good opportunity to jump in there. Thank you, Tashana. What if you had a good relationship with your siblings, but as adults, you're growing apart and have different recollections of your upbringing? Any advice on navigating this? Tashana, I'm just going to be real. You are not alone. As Michael Jackson said, you are not alone. Everybody only has their perspective. Scientifically speaking, there is one type of evidence when you're talking about the commission of a crime or even an occurrence. There is one type of evidence that is notoriously unreliable. I'm going to ask you, Sister Kenitha, do you remember what type of evidence that is? That's unreliable?
What is it? I don't know.
When people remember if they saw somebody or they saw somebody at the crime scene.
witness.
Well, witness. Eyewitness accounts. Eyewitness accounts are notoriously unreliable. You've seen scientific experiments where they will have a person come in dressed as a postman, and then they will have them walk by the same coffee shop dressed as a businessman. Then they'll have them run by dressed as a criminal, and then they will go back in 5 minutes later and ask the person asking them is the policeman. The policeman was the person that ran by. He asked for the description, and it's nothing like him. And then they reveal, I was the person that ran through. And they're like, oh, wow, notoriously unreliable. So is the same with the recollection of childhood. You selectively remember the good things that favor you.
Or the things that came with some type of sensory awareness. So if you had,
let's talk about that. That's good. Thank you, Tashana.
Something traumatic, then that seals in a locked memory. Or if you went to a restaurant and let's say you got sick from some food, you know, that you ate and you remember the smell of it, that'll signal up some recollection of memory. It could be a good memory too, seeing and experiencing something that felt so good that you can remember it. But besides that though, on average, that's what they say, on average, most people do totally forget how things were without having some type of way to hold on to that memory.
Yes. Tashana, I would say the short answer is do not be afraid of the conversation and approach the conversation from a space of love, not from a space of conflict. And the conversation is, listen, I think we're growing apart a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about where you are in life. And the recollection of childhood is, you know what? I don't remember it that way, but who's to say it was like that for either one of us? But do you still feel that way now? How does this relate to our relationship in this moment? Those are the difficult conversations that you find, but you can also find the good in the conversations. You can find those spaces. As an adult, I remember I was on a plane to LA and I was offered a snickerdoodle cookie. And I don't really steal food with Some of you have offered me snickerdoodle cookies. I don't always feel good about them, but I remember that the minute that stewardess, the airline attendant, put that giant snickerdoodle cookie on my plate, I went to back when I was 6 years old at Percy Priest Elementary School, and I ate a snickerdoodle. I wanted a snickerdoodle cookie so big. They had those green lunch trays, and they would put the cookie in the plate. And they put the cookie in there, and I ate the cookie, and it was really, really moist, but it was really, really raw. It wasn't cooked. And when I tell you I puked my guts like I had never puked before and I never puked since, anytime from that time on, when I smelled a snickerdoodle or saw one, I went back to 6 years old. And I remember this was in my late 30s. I remember getting that snickerdoodle cookie. I was going to LA for something. And I looked at it and I started having those feelings. And I said, look, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not a child anymore. And I said, yes, ma'am, I'll take it. I broke it open. I ate that whole snickerdoodle cookie. And again, here I am trying to fix the childhood. I said, okay, it's not bad. I'm just glad that one wasn't raw, because if that one would have been bad, I just would have been like, oh. But, and that's a moment of resolution. I don't need to eat any more snickerdoodles from there on out, because I realize I don't really love them. I like sugar cookies, chocolate chip. But guess what? I don't need to keep proving myself by going and getting raw snickerdoodle cookies to prove that I can beat the child in me. Some of us are doing the emotional equivalent of eating raw cookies over and over again, thinking that there's something about us that needs to learn how to digest something raw, as opposed to saying something was just wrong with the cookie. Something was wrong with the relationship. Something was wrong with the person who did you wrong. Something was not realized in their spirit, in their relationship with you, period. It was not you all the time. So guess what? You don't have to keep choosing the losers, users, and abusers in your friend circle, in your people, in your places and things and circumstances to feel like you have to have a chance to conquer. Sometimes, and most times, in this case, all times in the growing up process, it's about you learning to just let go of things and not feeling with your ego that you have to conquer. So yes, Deshauna, take the time in this space to get to know them, to have those conversations with them and operate from a place of ground zero of love. Also, I'm going to give you a superpower. The breath is powerful in dealing with sibling relationships. Sometimes you just got to breathe. You don't have to bite on the things that would normally trigger you. There are people from high school who would say some things that would normally trigger me. You don't have to go to every reunion. You don't have to go to every party or event with people who you used to know, especially if they were people who marginalized you and made you feel like you were less than. You can choose the people that you're going to be around. You can choose to be around people who vibrate high, who see you as you are right now, versus people who want to lock you into who you used to be. You may have been a different person last year. In relationships, it's important to grow up in this space. Because if not, you're going to operate from the spaces of hurt and harm. There are some people who want you back to that space where you were listening to everything they say, you never asked any questions, you allowed yourself to be marginalized, you allowed yourself to be abused and used, and they would love to go back to that space. But you know that they are still trying to imprison you if you encounter them now and they can't see you for who you are now. But they want to go back to the way it used to be when they were winning. Guess what? The way that we're operating now is everybody's winning. And if everybody's winning, then we're on the same page and it's all good. I'm no longer seeing you as an adult through children's eyes, through the pain and through the hurt. And that's a beautiful space. As we wrap it up, good. Thanks for the interaction. And we had some good comments in there too. Dr. Magala talked about arrested development. We see that that's a great comment too. As we wrap the message for today, as we wrap this energy, something that you pointed out was really good. And I want you all to do an inventory of your heroes. Kanitha, in our conversation the other day when we were riding along, you noted that all of the figures that we look up to, all of the figures in history that we look up to were not people who were fixated on the past. They were people who were fixated on the present, building for the future. Name a hero. Let's get one that everybody loves. Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was not fixated on past theologians. He wasn't fixated on all past history and trying to share that for the sake of staying there. He was fixated on making sure that people of color would be treated equally with everyone else. And he was fixated on the future. I have a dream that one day. That's what we loved about him. Even though during the time he was here, he was considered the most hated man in America. Let's point that out, historically speaking. We can look back in the past and have these rosy images. Dr. King, speaking about a future, made him hated. Pick any other cultural figure. Harriet Tubman, fixated on freeing people. Octavia Butler. Saw Lisa got a great shirt on today. Octavia Butler What are her novels about? Her novels are about speculative fiction, which is fixation on the future and how society evolves. All of our heroes are looking at how to move things forward. So don't you deserve to be your own hero today? Don't you deserve to be focused on the present, to see the past as a reference point, but to recognize that you are so much more than your yesterday, that you are here to put a seed down for the future? That when you heal yourself and you embrace that you are the sum total of all your parts, childhood included. Because when we think about good and bad, it's all relative. The Buddhist teaching is there are no such thing as good things or bad things. There are only things. And how we react to them determine whether they become good or become bad. Because there are people who've been, I've had counseled people who've had great families growing up, but they were so great that the parents hid them from the day-to-day struggles of life. So they raised them in such a sheltered world that when they became adults, all their relationships fell apart because they thought everything was magical. So you've got to be in a place of transparency and balance all the way around. Find that space. I speak that that space is coming to you today. This is If Speaks. This is the message. So it is spoken, so it is received, and so it is. Ashe. All right. Take a deep breath in with me as we prepare to lead today. We love you, those on the replay, those who are in the process of growing up. Allow your eyes to close. Come into this space. Begin to breathe deeply. Feel the vibration of love energy around right now. As we are in this wonderful space of love, Divine Source, we come to you. We thank you for the discussion today. We thank you for the healing that is taking place right now. We thank you for the ability to drive under your influence now, not the influence of the past. We thank you for the ability to release in this moment, to live in the right now toward an amazing tomorrow. And so thank you for the meditations that will come from this conversation today. Thank you for this blessed and beloved community. And I speak that the words that we have shared today, that the meditations that have emerged from our hearts will continue to heal, to elevate, to resonate, and to move into the space of divine resolution. Thank you for the release right now. Deep breath. Exhale and let it go. As we are in this vibration, repeat these after me. I release my past. I release the entanglements. I release the nasty nicknames. I release the feelings of lack and shame. I embrace my right now. I embrace the energy of new friendships. New relationships. Empowered thoughts. Engaged spirituality. New freedom. New doors. New awareness. New love. I'm a grown-up now. And so it is. Amen. And Ashe. All right, y'all. We in this space. Look, we're going to see y'all next week as we play our song to take us out. We want you to meditate on the memories that we've got, that the energy we've had today. Thank you, Sister Kua Taylor, for showering us with love. Write the vision. Make it plain. Yes. Brother Joshua Smith Carr on the switchers and the audio. Sister Alicia Hamer on the stream and interaction with y'all, keeping us live and strong. Brother Tony Insignaris on the multimedia, on the everything, man. We got a great crew. Next week is Yoga Sunday, so we invite y'all to be here on this mat. Remember, You're so much more than you were yesterday. So don't give me the, I don't like yoga, I never tried yoga. Guess what? You're at home. Ain't nobody gonna see you. Even if you're in the space, ain't nobody bothering about you. So don't say namaste on my couch and not do yoga next week. You say namaste, the divine in me sees the divine in you. And let's get this thing together. Let's come to this space where we can love. So we speak that you are going to have an awesome week, that your understanding is going to be elevated, that you're going to walk in the right now as a grown up, and that you're going to see all of this healing and feel it resonating for all of the manifestations in your life. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Sing a verse with us before we give the benediction. We'll put the words up on the screen. Got my voice. Today's a brighter day, and we are on our way. Then we can begin to heal ourselves again. Oh, we remember yesterday, and yet today's the day. God's reminding me to look at you and see family. God's reminding me, God's reminding me to look at you and see family. God's reminding me to look at you and see family. We speak that the love of God, the power of the ancestors, and the strength in the cosmos rest, rule, rock, and abide with you from forever. Let's say together. Amen. Amen. Hotel Shalom. Namaste. Ashe. Until we speak to you again, Sister Kenitha Carr, Rev Jeff, reminding you that when you get information in, it does become knowledge. But when you take knowledge and put it into action, that's when it becomes wisdom. So until we talk to you again, be wise. We love you, and that's a fact that will not change. Peace and blessings, y'all.